Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
General advice disclaimer. The information provided and made available through this podcast does not constitute financial advice. The information is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, a financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice. We recommend that you obtain your own independent professional advice before making any decision in relation to your particular requirements or circumstances. Positive Tax Solutions and its representatives do not warrant the accuracy, completeness, or currency of the information provided on and made available through this podcast.
Hello, good morning. Welcome, everyone. I'm Daniel McPherson from Positive Tax, and it's time for another Tax Tuesday for Wealth Coffee Chats. I hope all those affected by the wild weather recently are starting to dry out. Hopefully you've got your power back on and the cleanup isn't too bad. Feel free to let us know where you're coming from today in the chat as well. So today we're talking about not so much specifically about tax, but your 6-star team and why it's so important to have your team all working together. And specifically today, I'm going to talk about more so your financial planner, strategist, broker, and accountant, and why it's important for them all to be on the same page. But before we dive in, I'd like to share a recent experience. I attended an event on the weekend called The Exit Plan, put on by Jason Witten and Andy Fenton, where I got to work on real-world issues with business owners in a family office setting. So we looked at things like structuring loans for small developments, planning investments in estates for someone who had a chronic disease, transferring wealth between generations, and it was a really good weekend. So I really enjoyed it. It was pretty powerful to show, I guess, having all your professionals on the same page and together at one point in time can solve issues really, really quickly. Good morning, Sarah. Morning, Kevin. Hope you're all well. Okay, but first, I guess we'd like to talk about what is a family office. So a family office is usually reserved for high net wealth families, and it's basically a team that manages their finance and wealth for them. They offer services like investment management, financial planning, estate planning, tax services, and they even help with lifestyle needs sometimes. And normally there's two types, sort of like a single family office, which serves one family, or multi-family offices, which can serve several families. But the main goal really is to protect and grow the family's wealth and make sure it's passed down smoothly to the next generation. So while having a true family office is really beyond the reach of most people, you can still get your professionals to work in a way that replicates some of these benefits. And this approach can really supercharge your wealth creation, open your opportunities, and help avoiding learning lessons the hard way, really. Okay, so I guess having all your professionals on the same page, everyone working towards the same goal is really powerful. You don't want to have sort of your financial planner focusing on long-term health without considering the other options as far as tax and your lending goes. So I guess we're all pretty fixed on what each of those individuals can do for you, but making sure they're all on the same page and working together, and having a plan that supports your financial goals is really key. So I guess, how do you create your own family office for your wealth journey? So I guess we go through a couple of pointers for this one. Morning, Courtney. How you going? All right, so first is really define your goals. So clearly outlining what you'd like to achieve. That might be saving for retirement, buying a PPR, buying investment property, or maybe even passing wealth to your kids. And then you need to choose a structure. So decide whether you want a sort of like a single family office or who's going to be a part of that as well. Whether that's going to be sort of like multiple people within your family or just sort of stick within your immediate family group. Governance, so some rules and roles for different family members and professionals to make sure that they're accountable. That might be sort of if you're got a partner, maybe you've got both different roles that you can play to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. Then there's hiring your team of experts, so getting your planner, tax advisors, accountants, legal professionals, mortgage broker, making sure that you've got the right people. Developing that financial plan, so that's including your investment strategy, managing your risk and what your actual financial goals are. And then you also want to make sure you're monitoring progress. So having some systems set up to track your financial performance and making adjustments as you need be, or as things change throughout life as well. Sometimes those goals might change. And another big benefit is that we avoid conflict between the different financial strategies. So without coordination, it might be one professional stuffing up a bit of a plan for another. So an example might be that as your accountant, we might be minimising your income and tax significantly, but that might have an effect on your borrowing power for a particular year when you're looking to lend for an investment. So making sure you're having everyone on the same page and working towards a common goal can really fix these issues, and they can be spotted before they become a problem as well. And then comprehensive advice. So your financial planner, broker, accountant working together, going to give you more well-rounded advice. So each professional have their own expertise, although sometimes I guess we might cross over a little bit in others. It really gives you sort of like more people working on the same problem, and there might be some insights that others might miss, but really having that team will help you get the better financial decisions. I guess another advantage of that is having a coordinated team that's going to be more efficient and convenient. So instead of potentially juggling multiple appointments and relaying information back between professionals, if you can include them in all the information directly, that kind of reduces the risk of miscommunication and potentially saves you quite a bit of time as well. And then also having a cohesive team builds trust and confidence. So when you know that your planner, broker, strategist, accountant are all on the same page, it feels like you're a lot more secure in making the decisions and having all the information available. And when you're navigating significant life events and investment events and things like that, or even starting a business, you can really make sure that you're on the right path. So I guess at the exit plan, we've got a couple of real world examples. So we did this over sort of an hour or so. Normally it would take a long time to get all your professionals together. So it was a really great event. So for instance, we looked at structuring and lending for a small development project. So it was just a husband and wife, and they were looking to do a duplex development. So by having myself, the accountant, the planner, and the mortgage broker there, we were able to sort of strategize a plan that sort of maximised the return, but while also minimising the tax and making sure that they were able to get the lending that they'd need to do this development. So that was really cool. And then another scenario, we discussed the investment and estate planning for someone with a chronic disease. So this required careful consideration and coordination so that the individual's healthcare needs were met without compromising their long-term security. And the financial planner was able to look at potentially some insurance to put in place, as well as a strategy for managing healthcare costs, but while minimising tax and potentially then the estate planning when things were to go that way. Another issue we looked at was transferring wealth between. So this is looking really a plan to minimise the tax burden, to making sure that assets move across from one generation to another without paying too much tax. So we work together to basically look at a way to protect the family's wealth, which still aligned with the long-term goals then of the kids that would, in effect, eventually take over. So while it can be really difficult, I guess, to get all your professionals to meet together, because we're all very busy, got lots going on, if you do have a clear set of objectives for each of them, include them on the correspondence where relevant, you can ensure not getting led astray. So a few practical tips for that one to coordinate your team would be really just to set clear objectives. So have a clear defined definition of what your goals are and where you want to go. So to make sure that we're all working towards the same target. Regular updates, so keeping all your professionals up to date with what's happening with your situation, because sometimes we might need to adjust the strategy on how to get there. Joint meetings wherever possible for particular items. So if you're looking at purchasing a new property or a new investment, sometimes a quick chat between planner, accountant, and broker can sort of fix a lot of issues that can arise. Then there's shared documentation, particularly, I guess, is evident when you've got going to the broker and they're going to need a lot of stuff that the accountant has. So sort of doing the introduction, making sure that you've got the authority in place for the accountant to share documents. That's going to save you heaps of time. And then consistent communication. So making sure that that relevant correspondence is going through and everyone's in the loop to make sure that everyone's on the right path. Okay, so we've gone through that. So what about now choosing the right professionals for your team? So selecting the right planner, strategist, broker, accountant is really crucial for achieving your goals. So a couple of tips here. So we're looking at credentials and experience. So you're really looking for professionals that I guess are accredited. That's probably number one. Looking for brokers that I guess have got a strong track record with the industry or investments that you're looking to go in. And then for accountants too, I guess, what sort of clients are they servicing and what are their expertise as well. References, reputation, I guess. The best thing to really go off is a referral. So if you're speaking to someone that's used that professional and getting their experience, I guess that's going to give you the most valuable insight into their reliability and effectiveness. And then there's communication skills, choosing professionals who can communicate effectively. So I guess it really comes down to they should be able to explain to you complex concepts in a way that you can understand. So that's really key because you really want to get a quick and easy understanding of what's going on. Then there's compatibility, so making sure that the professionals understand your goals and values and willing to work to you and collaborate with others to get to those goals. So making sure it's cohesive and everyone's values and are aligned. And then trust as well. So looking for professionals who I guess are transparent about their fees and their process, how they're going to deal with any potential conflicts that arise, working as part of that team. Because it does happen, but it's more how you deal with it that's most important, and making sure that you're comfortable and confident in the advice that they're providing. All right, so let's dive into maybe a couple more examples of how that will work. Maybe considering a scenario, I guess, that's looking to, a business is looking to expand their operations. The planner can sort of look and assess the viability of the expansion, how that fits within the financial strategy going forward, or potential future investments as well. Broker looks at, I guess, what funding would be required and what sort of lending, and then obviously what serviceability you would need to show to be able to get that. And then the accountant can also show what's going to be tax efficient, so what structures to look at, and then also any business optics to make sure that we're making sure that the expansion is going to be feasible and track that going forward. So I guess working together, you can create a comprehensive plan in the beginning, but then also checking that throughout that it's going to be effective and that you're meeting all your objectives. And then another common example is, I guess, planning for children's education as well. Having the planner develop those investment strategies, I guess, that are going to give the return. The broker looking at how they can leverage their PPR, maybe to get into some other investments, and the accountant to minimise tax, make sure maximising deductions, and making sure any structures that need to be put in place are going to be effective. So I guess this coordinated approach ensures that the family can really achieve their goals without compromising their financial health as well. Perfect. And then we've got, I guess, the role of technology now is making it a lot easier to make this coordination happen. So lots of different apps where you can upload documents together. As far as the individuals, there's lots of little tools too that you can use to manage these types of tasks. Communication apps, heaps of software out there now, particularly those who've got small businesses, creating cash flows, budgets. It's kind of never really been easier than what it is now. It's really a case of just getting those things into place. And then finally, I guess the role of education. So this is a crucial role in your financial success. So educating yourself about the different concepts and strategies, relying on your team to, I guess, ask questions and get informed. That's definitely going to make you help you make better decisions. And really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. You're the one who needs to drive it. And I guess understand this, because that's going to give you a better outcome in the end. So I definitely encourage you to read different articles, attend some workshops, seminars, things like the exit plan that we just did recently was excellent, different online courses, and consult your professionals. They'll be able to give you the best place to go and to get some of those things as well. So I guess summing up, having your planner, broker, accountant, strategist all working together has significant benefits. And I guess while having the true family office is beyond the reach, getting all your professionals together in a way that sort of replicates some of that can really supercharge your wealth creation, open up a lot of new opportunities that I guess that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And avoid learning lessons the hard way, because we want to learn from other people's mistakes, not make our own. So thank you very much, everyone. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Folio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.